is Coach Carl, and in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to basically kick sod on the shoes of every self-righteous youth soccer coaching book and magazine article you've ever seen. I'll show you why shelling out hard-earned cash for coaching academies and camps could actually be destroying your youth soccer players' chances of success, and teach you, as weird as this sounds, how your players can naturally develop love of the sport and build amazing skills if you teach them how to trust their instincts. By the end of this short presentation, which won't be up for long, you will know exactly what to do to teach your players how to discover and hone their own talents in the same way that the superstars have done for generations. No matter how little you know about soccer, no matter if you've never played the game, no matter if you followed the prescribed curriculum for 20 years, no matter how many games you've lost, no matter how hopeless your players look right now. In fact, if you follow what I say in this letter and put it into action like thousands of youth soccer coaches before you, your players will thank you, will love coming to practice, will join your team year after year, and will show rapid and steady improvement season after season. And your players' parents will respect and admire you. How do I know this? Because I was just like you. As a professional youth soccer coach and coaching director for the California Youth Soccer Association for over 33 years, and as embarrassing as it is for me to admit, I didn't figure it out until after about 20 years of coaching. I was teaching what everyone else was telling me to teach. I was doing what all the books and courses told me to do, and I was getting dismal results. 75% of the players dropped out by the age of 14. None went on to any seriously notable soccer career. They didn't even like coming to practice. Many complained that even after playing soccer for 10 years, they still didn't know the basics. If you're thinking, I must have been the world's worst youth soccer coach, the truth is that I was doing what everyone else was doing, and I was getting the exact same results. I realized my training team and I were doing something seriously wrong, and that we had to change our strategy to get different results. So my staff and I set out on a fact-finding mission to discover just what it was we were missing. What we discovered was that we were missing the boat entirely. We had it totally backwards. We had to revamp our entire philosophy, along with all our teaching techniques and methods, to ways that had nothing to do with anything the so-called experts were telling us to do. Most parents and youth soccer coaches are just as frustrated and confused as you are. I know because they come to me to show them how to turn their team around. As a concerned youth soccer coach, this may be hard to hear, and there's no reason for you to listen to what I'm saying, except what I'm going to teach you right now has already transformed the lives of thousands of youth soccer coaches just like you and the lives of their players. And every day I get emails and phone calls just like this one. Without a doubt, your books are most helpful to me as a 5-year coach. No other books have helped me like yours have. Thanks for helping to make soccer more understandable. That's by Stephen West Holden. Coach Carl, just wanted to let you know that I'm amazed by your practical, common-sense approach. You've made the game so clear. You've taken the confusion, complexity, and ego out of coaching soccer and made it enjoyable, easy to implement, and truly helpful to the players. What a difference that made. That came from Ruth James. Another one, following the methods presented in your books is the smartest thing I have ever done so far in my coaching career. The book made it easier for me to follow a logical progression of teaching, and I am looking forward to coaching next year. Coach Carl, I wanted you and anyone who may be reading these words to know that the methodology found in your books really, really works. That came from Coach Rick Blancas. But Coach, my players are getting worse every day. If you're like a lot of youth coaches who might have fallen for the dangerous myth that says you as a coach can force children to become better players by lecturing, running them through endless drills, making them run laps, and playing silly non-soccer related games, that players can develop just by showing up and playing during practice alone, that coaches can improve players by yelling instructions while they are competing, then you're in for a rude awakening if you haven't already experienced it. Or maybe you want to change, but you're afraid that if you actually focused on teaching the fundamentals and real skills, your players would revolt and bail out and hate you for the rest of their life. That's what most youth soccer coaches think. Now let me tell you why it's 100% not true, why your players are desperately waiting for you to show them the right way to develop the technique and play great soccer. To do that, First, we need to debunk a common and dangerous myth about what it takes to become a really great soccer player. Let's start with this question. How many international level soccer players has America produced? Very, very few. Well, if you can name any. All these major players come from foreign countries, even those playing for the U.S. team. What does all that tell you? That American players don't have the capacity or capabilities, that they lack talent and drive? No way. It tells us that American players are not being coached properly. They're not being shown the real game. They're not being allowed to practice real soccer skills. They're being fed a steady diet of dribble, drill, and drudgery, and they're sick of it. How do you know what your players are capable of if you've never given them half a chance? If all you've given them is the regurgitated garbage that has produced lemons for the last 100 years? The truth is, your players are waiting for you to show them the real moves, the real techniques that they see the professional players use on TV. They can't wait to dissect the moves and try them on their own and keep working on them until they can do them as swiftly and as slyly as their heroes. And some of them are hidden stars just waiting to break out into their stride. If you know how to shine the light on the right techniques and give them permission to play. So if you actually have future superstars on your team who want to master soccer even more than you want them to, why aren't those players obvious to you now? That's a fair question, and here's the answer. So what's the secret to coaching truly skilled soccer players and building a great team? In order for your players to uncover and hone their true talents, they need three things. First, you need to wake up their natural ability by giving them the right exercises in a way that's fun. The moves that they are naturally hardwired to repeat over and over and love doing it. Children thrive with healthy play. Second, you need to give them permission to act on their natural impulses and need for play without the fear of being judged or feeling like they're wrong. Even lion and tiger cubs play fight all day long to develop their true fighting skills. And mama doesn't stop them because they need to practice fighting. They won't have that skill to survive in the jungle when they grow up. And third, you need to make them feel truly confident, competent, and motivated from within so that they're not at a loss waiting for you to tell them what to do every moment. Making them dependent on you ruins everything. So how do I do all that? By understanding a fundamental truth about coaching children that changed the way I coach youth and the way every coach I've shared this with so far now coaches. The secret to mastering soccer is honing muscle memory until it's instinctive. And the younger that training, the right muscle memory starts, the better. Children get a deep satisfaction from training their instincts and their body to the point where they can perform every needed skill without thinking about it. The faster and sharper their successful reaction, the better they'll feel about themselves. The younger years are exactly the time children need to develop their brain-muscle coordination. Learning soccer is a lot like learning to walk, ride a bike, or master any physical life skill. It takes practicing the actual moves over and over and over again, learning from their mistakes. Correct repetition is the key. In order for a player to get that kind of practice, the coach has to create the right environment and use the right routine that allows the player to experiment and practice and work out the moves in their body until they are second nature. Maybe you're not concerned about producing a world champion or superstar. You just want some of your players to make the high school team. You want them to get college scholarships. So do the college coaches. For years, college coaches have been telling me how disappointed they are at the low level of skill that freshman soccer players come in with. They can't believe that they have to teach the basics that should have been taught when the kids were younger. The kids they get are so overcoached, so robotic, and so unskilled that they have to start from the beginning all over again. So why aren't these kids learning the fundamentals from you? Here's another question. Who coached the best international players when they were first starting to play soccer? The answer, no one. The best players in the world didn't have coaches until way into their teens. So how did they get so good at soccer? By practicing real moves over and over again. Player after player started playing with their friends down the street or in the alley or alone in the yard. They practiced the same moves used in the game: passing, dribbling, shooting, controlling, feints and fakes, and more. I hope you're getting this. Lecturing, shouting instructions, and forcing drills on your players does not create world-class players. letting the players practice real moves and real techniques in the way that they're already hardwired to do naturally to learn a physical skill does. These future superstars did not have anyone standing over them. They had to find the moves, the speed, the accuracy, the nuances inside themselves. Studies showed that it takes 10,000 hours, about 10 years, to create the instinctive moves necessary to play soccer. That may seem like a long time, but think about the soccer heroes you know. That's at least the amount of time they spent. Most spend even more. We've developed a practice routine that can cut that time down significantly, but the techniques and the routine must be done in a very specific way. Coaching your players correctly is easier than you think and much easier than coaching them the wrong way. Plain and simple, and as strange as it sounds, training your players to practice the right way can create shocking and drastic changes in your results and in your players' ability as developing soccer players. Why? Because the right exercises and practice routines feed your players' brain, nerves, and muscles the information they are genetically and developmentally programmed to work with and respond to, building their coordination, response time, speed, accuracy, strength, stamina, and ability to think ahead. With this type of foundation, your players will crave playing soccer. They won't be able to tear themselves away from it. They'll sneak out and start playing every chance they get. Do it right, and your players can become the best and most skilled soccer players around. They'll have overwhelming confidence in the game and themselves. They'll feel like you are encouraging the best in them, that they can take themselves to the next level without anyone holding them back. And you'll do it all without once raising your voice or being a drill sergeant. Okay, Coach Carl, I get how this works, but what is the right way to coach? And what do I actually do? Great that you asked, because with your permission, I'm going to share with you a few important things. The secret steps and routines proven out by thousands of youth coaches that take your players from clueless klutzes to skilled and confident players in just a few short sessions. How to make soccer an irresistible and thrilling game that they can't wait to play whenever they have a few minutes or meet up with their friends. How to pack the most focused, skill-developing exercises and activities into the least amount of time for the most optimal improvement. Why your players are yearning for the right instructions to guide them and inspire them, and drop out if they don't get it. How to use buzzwords and simple instructions to have them be more active, more involved, and more satisfied playing soccer. The exact buzzwords and sentences you can start saying right away, which your players will instantly respond to, even if they have serious negative attitudes. The right sequence to every practice session for fast improvement and amazing transformation. Why your players want you to take them to the next level and not putz around with silly drills and games that don't even relate and can't possibly improve their game. Why putting players on the sidelines and making them wait is a dangerous practice you'll regret and your players hate. But most of all, I want to share these simple but powerful methods that build massive engagements and enjoyment of the game in your players step by step so that they can't help but develop their skills and abilities without even trying. I've seen it again and again, and you're going to see it too. How? By introducing to you a simple, easy-to-use system called Youth Soccer Domination. Here's how the Youth Soccer Domination system came to be. My staff and I started researching how the greatest soccer players all around the world developed their skills. We discovered that many of the very best had no equipment, no uniforms, no soccer fields, and no coaches. They started playing in the streets, using whatever they could find for a soccer ball, even if it was a ball of yarn. They played and played until they got good at it, really good at it. They had fun finding new ways to control the ball all on their own. Things have changed in the last few years. Now young soccer players tend to watch pros on TV and imitate their moves at home, but they're still playing with their friends in the streets every chance they get. And when they master a good move, they teach it to their friends. Here in America, kids don't watch soccer on TV. They don't play in the streets. They don't do anything until their parents sign them up for soccer and the coach blows his whistle and tells them what to do. That's the difference, and it's a huge difference. When kids play on their own, figure out the techniques on their own, it's theirs. They own it. You can't take that away from them. Their body feels like it invented the move. Once they have that, they have reached a level where they consistently have accurate, split-second responses to any ball that comes at them without even thinking. And they can improve brilliant new moves on the spot. When they share what they have learned with their friends, they start building the foundation for cooperative teamwork, the kind of teamwork that you can never get to from the usual contrived scenarios. The question in my mind was, could I replicate these methods with American children in organized practice sessions? So I took our discoveries and started applying them on the field with startling results. I discovered that when kids learn from their peers, they pick it up faster and become much more proficient more quickly. They get excited about the game, and they can't wait to play it as soon as they have some free time without parental coaching. Kids take it upon themselves to get better at their moves, and it becomes a matter of pride as much as mastery. I started teaching these methods to coaches all over the country, and they reported that instead of dropping out, the kids returned season after season and brought their friends with them. Coaches and youth coaching associations around the world started begging me to come and give workshops and clinics, which I've been doing for the last 10 years. But I can't reach everyone, so I put all that we learned into a set of training materials called Youth Soccer Domination in the form of a video manifesto, 5 PDFs, counting the bonuses, and 4 hours of audios. It's the most comprehensive youth soccer coaching training program of its kind. This is not a bunch of theory. It's a proven, tested, practical way to replicate the best natural soccer learning conditions for children. And it's absolutely packed with information straight from the trenches that will turn you into a ninja master of youth soccer coaching. Here's what you'll get. Module 1, Youth Soccer Domination Video Manifesto. This is the Youth Soccer Domination video that explains the philosophy and reasons behind coaching this revolutionary way and why it produced radically different results from the usual coaching methods. How to avoid confusion and wasted time in your practice sessions. How you, the coach, sets the tone and directions for everything to come. Hint, it's not the kid's fault if things start going wrong. How following the 9 simple steps organizes the perfect practice and avoids drudgery and boredom. Find exactly why kids are dropping out of soccer in droves and what you can do to change that. Why the training methods that work for other generations flat out don't work for today's kids. When you should coach and when you should stand back and be silent. Why kids don't practice on their own anymore. Why variety is not the answer. How to do warm-ups and cool-downs properly. The right way to finish a practice so they'll look forward to coming back to the next one. Module 2, Fundamental Soccer for Clueless Parents. The perfect e-book for the parent or beginning coach that knows absolutely nothing about youth soccer but needs to learn fast. Discover all the basics about the game of soccer, the rules, field positions, and how the game is played. And just as important to the new youth soccer coach, find out everything you need to know about the organization and delegation of duties within your youth soccer community. This is our most popular bestseller. Module 3, Introduction to Youth Soccer Audios. 2 full hours of detailed step-by-step instructions and information on exactly what a coach needs to know to successfully run a youth soccer practice. I teach you exactly what to do and say, and exactly when to do and say it. Find out how to prepare your players to play fully and love the game of soccer. Here's what's in Audio 1, the most successful approach to coaching youth soccer. What is the main objective of the game of soccer? When do the players actually learn how to play soccer? How to use soccer practice as a rehearsal for game day, the theme-based soccer practice, key defensive skills, key attacking skills. The second audio will include soccer terminology you need to know, proper terms for soccer positions, how each position should be played, responsibilities in the 3 soccer field zones, how to teach the responsibilities, how to measure success as a coach, final words of advice for youth coaches. Coach Randy Gardner told us, I learned more from these audios than the previous years put together. This is my 5th year coaching a soccer team. I can tell you for a fact that I learned more from these audios regarding key skills and tactics for kids than I have learned in the previous years put together. If only I had this much education 5 years ago. Module 4, FIFA Laws of the Game, gives you the 17 laws of soccer and how they apply to youth soccer aimed at parents and new coaches. In audio number 1, we'll cover Law 1, which is field of play, the formula for field and goal size based on the number of players, terminology and description for field markings, and so on. Law number 2, the ball, discussion of ball size for various age groups. Law 3, the number of players. I will give you my opinion of team sizes for youth soccer and detailed discussion behind my recommendations. Audio number 2 will include Law 4, the player's equipment, advice on selecting equipment for soccer. Law 5, the referee, information for both parents and coaches, covers the basic hand signals, explains direct and indirect free kicks, and yellow and red cards. Audio number 3 will include Law number 6, the assistant referee, discussions on their duties. Law 7, the duration of the match, covers the basics. Law 8, the start and restart of play, reviews of the basics. Law 9, the ball in and out of play. When is the ball in play? Law 10, method of scoring, how a goal is scored. Audio number 4 will have Law 11, offside, an explanation of the most misunderstood rule in soccer. Law 12, fouls and misconduct, discusses fouls and the difference between legal and illegal contact. Law 13, free kicks, direct and indirect free kicks and how they are taken. Law 14, the penalty kick, when and how a penalty kick is taken. Law 15, throw in, explanation of a proper throw in. Law 16, goal kick, when a goal kick is taken, who can take it, and when the ball is in play. Law 17, corner kick, when a corner kick is taken, who can take it, and when the ball is in play. Law 18, common sense, extra law added by me. Coach Randy Gardner wrote the following. Coach Carl does an outstanding job reviewing the 17 laws of the game and how they apply to youth soccer. This is the key to youth soccer. He explains how the rules should be modified to allow the younger kids to have more fun while learning the game, while at the same time teaching you the fundamental rules. I was certified as a referee in the fall of 2002, so I know the rules pretty well. These audio files aren't designed for referees. They are targeted for clueless parents and new coaches to learn the game and how it should be played according to the rules. By the end of these audios, video, and PDF, you'll already have an infinitely better understanding of coaching youth soccer than 99.99 out of 100 youth soccer coaches. You'll be the youth soccer coach that has the best players. But there's more. Module 5, the 9-step practice routine audio. Audio version of my revolutionary, internationally acclaimed system of coaching youth soccer successfully. The 9-step routine explained and detailed by me. Coach Mike Hunt said, the most beneficial aspect of Coach Carl's 9-step practice routine is that it gives me much greater confidence on how to structure and run a practice session, combining both the theory and practical application. I wish I had it when I started coaching 2 years ago. Thank you. Module 6, Practice of Champions. A 154-page, fully illustrated book of detailed, step-by-step instructions on exactly what a coach needs to know to successfully run a youth soccer practice. Coach Robbie Stahl wrote, Coach Carl DeWazian is the absolute master of designing practice sessions for the development of young soccer players. I've been using Carl's methods and materials for the past 20 years. Practice of Champions' beauty is in the clarity and the brevity in which it is written. The diagrams and explanations presented give the coach clear ideas how to effectively run a practice session. His 9-step routine for running a practice is one that every coach in America should adhere to. Coach John Anagnost wrote, Practice of Champions was the big reason for our team's success. 1 versus 1 was a huge contributor, leading to a team markedly more aggressive than any other team in our league. After playing 1 versus 1 week after week, even the most timid child gets used to playing against other children. This leads to greater skills, more confidence, more aggressiveness. As I've said before, it's really almost magical in its effect on my team. Coach John Blancas wrote, "Following your methods presented in the book Fundamental Soccer Practice of Champions is the smartest thing I have done so far in my coaching career. The book made it easier for me to follow a logical progression of teaching, and I am looking forward to coaching next year using the fundamental practice routine." Coach Carl, I wanted you and anyone who may read these words to know that the methodology found in your book really works. Module 7, Fundamental Soccer Tactics. The essential tactics you need to know to coach the game. Mike Waitola wrote, "Coach Carl Dawazian succeeds in helping a youth coach understand how teaching the fundamentals of techniques will lead to a team's tactical development. Here the illustrations are explicit and helpful. The book also offers rules of thumb by the dozens that coaches can and probably should convey to their players. The book provides insight that will help teach young players more sophisticated soccer." Module 8, Tactics of Champions. This newly updated international bestseller now has 32 additional pages packed with the secret tactics of Champions Youth Soccer Team. Learn the simple yet highly effective soccer tactics that work with youth soccer players. These books cover the fundamentals of tactical development with clear and explicit illustrations and insights to help raise the level of young players organically. Coach Anagnost again wrote, "If you like Practice of Champions and are looking to learn how to teach the team tactics of the game, you'll love Tactics of Champions. The two books together form an excellent foundation for a coach from U6 through U14s and older. When you watch your team spread the field when the other team is bunched, or when your team makes you look like a coaching genius by making smart defensive plays all over the field, you'll be glad you bought the book." Module 9, Goalkeeping. Don't overlook your goalkeeper like everyone else does. This book is a must for the new youth soccer coach. For the experienced coach, it offers a more efficient, organized approach for teaching the fundamentals of goalkeeping. Alan Ma wrote, "A complete training program for players, coaches, and clinicians alike." The book is clear and realistic. The reality begins early in the book with realistic expectations of young players coupled with goals in the training of such players. The illustrations by Joe Garcia appear on every page, and they are outstanding. They deliver messages in a clear, uncluttered style. The various exercises and drills are well done and are fun for the participants. In plain English, the book is a complete training program for players, coaches, and clinicians alike. Joe Matchnick wrote, "I loved it. The book fulfills the needs of every young goalkeeper and their coaches by emphasizing the positive aspects of the position and the enjoyment which comes through efforts to perform properly as a goalkeeper. You get all that plus 2 critical and highly prized bonuses. Bonus 1. The first bonus is the manual where I answer the best youth soccer questions I've answered over 10 years' time called Coach Carl One-on-One Q&A. This ebook is full of intimately detailed instructions to very specific questions from real coaches in the field encountering the same kinds of issues you'll encounter. It's 100 pages of single-spaced copy, no fluff or fillers, just me giving my expert one-on-one advice to parents, players, desperate beginning coaches, experienced coaches, and even longtime pros. Take a look at the chapter titles to Coach Carl's one-on-one Q&A. How to deal with difficult soccer parents, working with under 10s, most common questions, questions about the 9-step routine, training and conditioning of the youth players, players' questions on training themselves, an entire season's correspondence with the first-time coach, a comprehensive education in itself, and much, much more. You'll get the benefits of my 35 years' experience coaching tens of thousands of youth soccer coaches all over the United States. Bonus number 2. The second bonus is unbelievable. Direct VIP access to me. Email any questions to me about youth soccer, and I'll email the answer right back if I'm in town. If I'm on the road coaching or presenting a workshop, I'll answer you as soon as I get back. The value of this bonus is priceless, but for comparison purposes, I'll assign a value of $500 for the service. I can analyze and explain exactly where the problems are in your coaching, your players on your team, and what you can do to solve them. I'll guide and support you through every stage of putting my system into action, reveal laser-targeted techniques that you can use to make your team respond even faster and motivate themselves even more, and much, much more. But here's the catch. I only have time in my schedule to coach a very limited number of people. Once my schedule is full, I will have to shut down my VIP coaching program forever. I'm here to help you, but you must act now before all my VIP coaching spaces fill up. It's not too late to turn everything around, but you have to act fast. The youth soccer domination system has already worked for tens of thousands of youth soccer coaches all over the world, and it will work for you too. The thing to remember is that kids already love to play. They're born with the natural ability and need to run, play, and be active. This system is going to enable you to plug into your players' joy of playing and kick it up to the next level. And the great part about this is that it won't be luck. You'll understand exactly what to do, what to say, and how to guide your team. You'll be able to empower your players and teach them how to hone their instincts. And coaches, I have to tell you, this process is fun. It's a lot more fun to empower your players and build up their natural talents and abilities than screaming and shouting, getting upset, and bawling them out. When you use the system, your practice sessions become so much smoother, and your difficult kids become so much easier to deal with, you'll never go back. Instead of dealing with them in a climate of high pressure and hostility, you're dealing with them in a climate of encouragement and mutual respect. Believe me, it's not only easy, it produces superior results. So how much is the youth soccer domination system? If you've looked at other websites, you know that there are many other products out there offering to turn you into a great soccer coach for quite a variety of prices. But what are they teaching you? The same outmoded methods that will drill and kill your players' interest in soccer. That will only create clumsy, unskilled, scattered players dependent on you to tell them what to do. If you're still listening, I don't think that's what you want. You want a method that is truly best for the kids, that taps into their natural instincts and encourages them to develop their natural, innate abilities so that they know what to do without having to think about it. Youth Soccer Domination is a complete and comprehensive course for coaches. It will teach you everything you need to know about coaching youth soccer in the most productive, efficient way, and there's nothing else like it anywhere. When you add up the value of the video, audios, and ebooks, plus these bonuses, it comes to over $700. If you purchase each item separately, that's what you would have to pay. But you don't need to pay $700. You don't need to pay $5 or even $3 or even $200. You can own the Youth Soccer Domination System today, download it straight to your hard drive immediately for just $97. That's less than a pair of tickets to a soccer game these days, and it's a bargain compared to studying with me in person. If you were to attend a live 3-day workshop with me, it would cost you thousands. You're getting even more information here than can be crammed into a weekend in digital format, and you can refer to it over and over again whenever you need to. This is like having me as your private coach without the hefty price tag. When you think about it, it's really very little to pay to transform the lives of your players and to give you the satisfaction that you really did your best. And believe me, if you don't get a good start now, before it's too late, the disappointment, frustration, and heartbreak you'll go through with your team will make 97 seem like chump change. I know this to be true because I've seen it with the vast majority of beginning coaches every single season. After only a few weeks, they find themselves frustrated, stressed, overwhelmed. They reach a point where they're at a total loss. They feel like a total failure and want to quit coaching and never do it again. The same thing happens to professional soccer players that have never dealt with children before. It even happens with professional soccer coaches working with children. Ask yourself honestly, what are the chances that you will succeed with the youth soccer coaching skills you have now? If the vast majority of beginning coaches fail miserably, if pro soccer players who start working with children fail consistently, if even pro soccer coaches fail when they begin working with children. If you want to save yourself from this humiliating fate, from sleepless nights and graying hair, from letting your players down, and from becoming the reason 75% of youth soccer players quit due to the high pressure, stressful, negative, and incompetent coaching, you owe it to yourself to get youth soccer domination. I'm so confident this program will turn your coaching around that I'm prepared to guarantee that this system will work for you. Full 60-day guarantee. Try this method risk-free for 60 days. If at any time you aren't thrilled with your results, just shoot me an email and I'll refund every last penny you paid for it. No questions asked and no hard feelings. If you try my method and it's not for you, it's okay. I'll give you an instant refund. So there it is, zero risk. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You owe it to yourself to try it, because if it does work, and it really does, imagine all the fun, the excitement, and the self-discovery and growth you and your team will feel. Encouraging and fostering your players in the right way is possibly the greatest gift you can give to them, their families, and to yourself. Step up. Be a coach your players can respect, and lead your team the way they deserve to be led. Click on the orange Add to Cart button below this video. This will take you to our 100% secure order page. Enter your credit card or PayPal information and hit Pay Now. Then you'll be taken to our special download page where you can get instant access to the entire system right now. No waiting for delivery, no paying for shipping and handling. Just incredible information straight to your computer so you can begin the process of transforming your coaching and your players today. I can't wait to hear from you and your success story. Click on the yellow Add to Cart button now. I'll see you on the other side. You still there thinking about it? How many frustrating practices and humiliating losses do you have to endure? How much of your time and your players' time are you going to waste teaching them little of value and watching them quit, one disillusioned kid after the other? Don't wait. Do it for your players' sake, if not for you. Remember, all the risk is me. It's 100% guaranteed, so there's nothing to lose. Just click on the Add to Cart button right now. I'm Coach Carl, and thank you for your attention. I'll see you on the other side.